Arsenal are changing behind the scenes, with the breaking departure of their technical director and massive plans for a potential new goalkeeper. Let's just say we have a lot to talk about. So from Arsenal's shock interest in Rafael Leão to a potential swap deal involving Gabriel Jesus, the breaking team news ahead of Chelsea, and how Victor Gyokeres is set to break yet another record. As per, let's break it all down. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bass14. Welcome back to your boys channel. Welcome back to Top of the League FC. As another gargantuan game approaches around the corner, we have got a lot to talk about. As per, smash a like on the video if you do enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy as we close into 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with Arsenal's breaking departure. As Arsenal approach a massive summer of 2026, with all the focus on who exactly Arsenal are going to sign, there has been a major change behind the scenes, as confirmed by a hand of Arsenal exclusive. Arsenal technical director James Ellis has now left the Arsenal Football Club with immediate effect. James Ellis was promoted to technical director last summer to support Andrea Berta with recruitment, but my understanding is that he has now left the club. Not only a major part of Andrea Berta's team, but also a massive part in completely revamping the Arsenal Academy. To have a change so sudden and so immediate, something definitely happened behind the scenes. Maybe there was a disagreement, or maybe Ellis got a better job offer from a club that was giving him a higher position. But when you have such a gargantuan shift, the question then becomes, how are Arsenal going to act in terms of replacements? Well, according to Peter Roque, Arsenal are lining up a move for former Chelsea Academy manager Jim Fraser as their new head of recruitment, following the recent departure of James Ellis. This is where things get interesting. In the case of Jim Fraser, a major part of Chelsea's academy, you think about the Champions League win in 2021, the likes of Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, major parts of their Champions League win, the man behind the recruitment and the development was indeed Jim Fraser. Then you focus on the amount of money that Chelsea have made from academy sales, first team players that are playing all across Europe at the very highest standard. It starts to make sense why I also see this guy as the ideal replacement. Andrea Berta is definitely a man always adding to his team. Think about the arrival of Maurizio Michelli only a few months ago, the former head of recruitment at Napoli. The whole idea for Arsenal is very clear. Bring in the best recruiters that have the best eyes to go and make your academy as strong as possible. With the arrival of the Quintero twins and so many other key young players, over the last year Arsenal have shown time and time again, they are not scared to invest in money on very young talents, as Hill End gets stronger and stronger. The prime example of course being the talent of Max Daumann, 16 years of age. Alongside Arsenal targets Kenneth Eichel, is only one of two under 16 players that are valued over 10 million euros, officially by Transfermarkt. A boy that people are seeing as England's response to Lamine Yamal. He is not the only exciting player that Arsenal have coming through their academy, because you also have to talk about the defender of Marley Salmon. After making a debut in the Champions League and coming on for Mikel Arteta time and time again, at just 16 years of age, he is already captaining the Arsenal under-21s. Compared to the likes of William Saliba because of the way he plays, that Rolls-Royce nature. Look at this example in Arsenal's recent 4-1 victory against Reading. In the 94th minute, Salmon starts to take the mickey, doing some kick-ups as Arsenal see out another victory. The prime example of this player's confidence, a level of arrogance that you're now seeing consistently. Whichever players come through the Arsenal Academy, they have a certain level of self-belief that they are going to make it to the very top. With Salmon already saying, I look up to William Saliba, he is a great player. It makes you wonder, what is Arsenal's plan for Salmon going forwards? Is it going to be a loan in summer 2026? The same exact approach they had for William Saliba. Now I want to focus though on the Arsenal goalkeeper. David Raya, after a masterclass against Tottenham, redeeming himself after the mistake against Wolves. There has been a lot of recent comparisons, comparing him to Man City's Gianluigi Donnarumma. And here's how the stats do the talking. Both with the same amount of goals conceded, Raya with 3 more clean sheets, but Donnarumma has a far higher save percentage and goals prevented, second for total save ratio. When it comes to the goalkeeping basics of save percentage and making those important saves, Donnarumma is one of the best in the world and he definitely clears David Raya. But when the Arsenal man comes onto his own, as shown by these numbers here, cross-claiming, through ball sweeping and distributing, as well as shot handling being far higher than Donnarumma. But then think about the recent games and the examples. The entire saying that elite goalkeepers win you elite titles, where Donnarumma made that amazing save against Liverpool to keep the score at 2-1, Raya against Wolves for their opening goal, wasn't able to make a similar save. And that's what you wonder towards Arsenal and their previous targets. Trying to sign Joan Garcia of course ended up at Barcelona, another goalkeeper that's gone to the very highest level and makes so many important saves. David Raya is a very good goalkeeper. When it comes to the flaw of a goalkeeper, he's got a very high one. He's consistent, he is reliable. But when it comes to making game-winning saves and saves that you shouldn't be making, there's a reason why Man City went for the profile of Donnarumma. Pep Guardiola clearly understood that when it comes to goalkeepers, as important as playing out the back may be, the most important job is keeping the ball out of the nets, going for individual quality over a style of play. That's where Arsenal may be making a move going forwards. According to reports in Italy, Arsenal are showing interest in Atalanta goalkeeper Marco Carnesecchi, The 24-year-old, whose contract runs until 2028, is valued around €40 million by the Serie A side. Atalanta are aware of the growing interest and are expected to drive a hard bargain, with Juventus also monitoring the situation. The Italian goalkeeper, 25 years of age, coming through the Atalanta academy. After multiple loan moves away, in 2025-26 he's reached a brand new level, saving 2 out of 3 penalties with 3.2 saves per game, 22 goals conceded, and 7.93 goals prevented. When compared to other Serie A goalkeepers, he is only second in terms of total save percentage at a whopping 79%, as well as being second for goals prevented at 7.9. The fact that Mikel Arteta has always been on the market for a brand new goalkeeper, the quality of João Garcia, it says to me that he's looking at David Raya, but he's not scared of upgrading. Looking towards the future, trying to always improve his team. We know that Mikel Arteta is a man of defined margins. If he's then able to identify a goalkeeper that can increase those margins, I don't think he'll be scared to go and do it. But in terms of Arsenal going forward into the summer transfer window, as confirmed by Sam D, Arsenal's financial accounts revealed the net spend on transfers in the summer was £268 million, up from a net spend of £21 million in the summer of 2024. That tells me one thing straight away. With the amount of money that Arsenal have spent, even though money is coming in via revenue and competition money, the summer of 2026 is going to see departures, with growing questions over the future of captain Martin Odegaard. According to Tom Canton, Martin Odegaard has no plans to leave Arsenal this summer despite recent claims. The player is focused on helping Arsenal win their first Premier League title in 22 years and is a key part of Mikel Arteta's squad. After another assist coming off the bench against Tottenham, that is now 5 Premier League assists this season, more than Cole Palmer and Dominic Szoboszlai combined. But one player that definitely could be leaving is Brazilian striker Gabriel Jesus. As reports in Italy start to surface, the AC Milan and their sport director are ready to make major moves to sign Gabriel Jesus this summer, a player whose contract is expiring, despite coming out before Champions League game this season, talking about how he sees his future at Arsenal and he wants to stay. When you've got Victor Gyokeres, you've got Kai Havertz, as well as Jesus being on over £280,000 a week, I believe that Arsenal will look to let Jesus go this summer, and a move to the Serie A is very likely. But in terms of Arsenal and their own plans, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are looking for a winger, midfielder and young right back for the summer transfer window. And that's where AC Milan becomes very interesting. With Arsenal on the market for a brand new left winger, the futures of Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard both in question, there will be a major departure on that left-hand side, opening space for Andrea Berta to go and sign a marquee left winger. Could that player be AC Milan's Rafael Leao? Well, according to reports, Arsenal have held talks with the agent of Rafael Leao regarding a potential summer move. AC Milan are now open to selling the winger, but would demand a fee in excess of €75 million. Man United are also monitoring the situation as interest in the Portugal international grows. With AC Milan currently in second in the Serie A, 10 points off first place Inter, they will be getting Champions League football. But in the case of Leao, now 26 years of age, turning 27, consistent numbers since 2021-22. 14 goals, 16 goals, 15 goals, 12, and 9 so far this season. The question for Mikel Arteta has always been, is he going to be open for a Leao profile? A maverick in that final third, but maybe not the best out of possession. Having recently looked at Pep Guardiola, the arrivals of Cherki, Donnarumma, players that aren't his normal profiles, but individuals that can win you games on their own. If Arsenal can win a Premier League title, is Mikel Arteta going to slightly adapt his style of play, opening up space for a profile like Rafael Leao? Moving on to Arsenal versus Chelsea. Another gargantuan London derby at the Emirates Stadium. After a massive win against Tottenham, Mikel Arteta's games are coming thick and fast, with even the news in the Champions League. The fact that Arsenal will either face Atalanta or Bayer Leverkusen in the last 16. When you look at the Champions League brackets, Arsenal would definitely prefer to get Bayer Leverkusen, with the chance to face Bodo Glimt in the quarterfinals. Mikel Arteta has put Arsenal in a very strong position. Favourites of the Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup and Champions League. All of that means nothing if Arsenal can't get themselves over the line. That's where the focus turns to the Emirates Stadium. Liam Rossini's Chelsea arriving once again after losing back-to-back games in the Carabao Cup, facing a Kai Havertz last-minute dagger in the last game against them. When it comes to Arteta in the London derbies, his record is definitely impressive, with the highest win rate of any manager in Premier League history in London derbies, a whopping 42 wins in 69 games, and Chelsea will be the 70th, a team that have only won one of their last 3 league games. After losing against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, they've drawn against Leeds and Burnley, beating Hull City in the FA Cup. In a game they will have a lot of key players missing, no Mark Cucurella and no Levi Colwill, as well as no Wesley Fofana after picking up a red card against Burnley. In the case of Arsenal and their own team moves, with no Ben White, Marino Dalman and Havertz against Tottenham. In the case of Benjamin White, according to Mikel Arteta, he was only out due to a nickel. Are we going to see a Ben White return? Is he going to be the Arsenal bench? But even if he's not, I'm not too worried. After watching that Christian Mosquera cameo against Tottenham, Timber may be tired, he may be drained, but Arsenal definitely have another profile able to play as a right back. Then the eyes focus on Kai Havertz. After a dagger against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, Mikel Arteta did confirm before the game against Wolves, a Havertz return is around the corner. That is going to have a major impact to how Arsenal get over the line this season. Despite the recent form of Victor Gyokeres scoring goals against Tottenham, Having a fully fit Kai Havertz as a profile in these big games is why Mikel Arteta signed him to Arsenal in the first place. When you think about Arsenal last season having lost a single Big Six game, Kai Havertz started every single one of them. A very important tactical profile for Mikel Arteta, allowing Arsenal to set up in a very effective way out of possession. You also have to talk about Eberechi Eze. After 2 more goals against Nando's FC, 6 goals for the season, becoming Arsenal's second highest league goal scorer. The real question for Eberechi Eze is going to be this game here. Is Mikel Arteta going to trust him once again, and where is he actually going to play it? With the return of captain Martin Odegaard, who came off the bench against Tottenham, is Mikel Arteta going to go for Eze over Odegaard, or can he fit both into the same side? With Arteta saying after the game against Tottenham, I could see that he wanted to prove something. The real point to prove for Eze isn't the goals against Tottenham, it's going to be, can you translate that form into other games? Can you play with that same hunger and the same intensity? Because when you've got a left back like Piero Nkapie, very sound defensively, very secure 1v1, it allows Arsenal to also use Eze off the left hand side, with a prime example coming against Tottenham. Despite starting as a number 10, you look at the second half and the way he breezed past the Tottenham player on the left hand side. When compared to Martinelli or Leandro Trossard, Eze has a lot more in his repertoire when it comes to 1v1 ball carrying. Having seen the way Chelsea played against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, Rossini is not scared to play a deep block. He's going to make it hard for Arsenal. That's where starting Eze and Martin Odegaard could be very important. Because not only is Eze important for Arsenal playing down the middle, but he's also very good at unlocking Victor Gyokeres. Take for example Gyokeres' goal against Tottenham. Eze in the middle occupying the centre back, opens a space for Gyokeres to shoot the ball straight away. A player that has now got 10 goals in his first ever Premier League campaign, the same as Didier Drogba, with 12 matches left to play, having scored 15 goals in all competitions, more goals than Hugo Ekitike, João Pedro, and any other big summer striker side. Gyokeres is on course to break a Mikel Arteta record. With 15 goals in his first ever campaign, he only needs 3 more goals to become the most prolific striker under Mikel Arteta in all competitions in a full season, with the highest striker so far being Alexandre Lacazette in 2020-21, scoring only 17 goals. Gyokeres is well on course for 20, and as pointed out by Sam D, before the game against Tottenham, Gyokeres was averaging 24 touches and 7 successful passes per Premier League game this season. Against Spurs he had 42 touches and 18 passes completed, an enormous improvement in his all-round game. The difference was that Arsenal playing to Gyokeres' strengths, playing him in on that left-hand side, getting him into ideal positions. The idea of Victor Gyokeres needs to be different to how he is physically. He may be big, he may look strong, but having seen his one-touch play, especially for the third Arsenal goal, he is far more of a technical striker. He wants the ball to feet, he wants to feel involved. That's how we saw him thrive at Sporting Lisbon. For also the key has to be, if you want to get Gyokeres involved going forwards, you have to have that same intensity like you had against Spurs. Intend to play the ball down the middle, intend to take risks, because the creative firepower is certainly there. Even when it comes to Declan Rice having created more big chances than any other Premier League player across all competitions this season, at a whopping 21 big chances. The way that Arsenal played against Spurs needs to be the blueprint. The intent to score more goals to kill the game off. You look at Arsenal in that second half, even with the score at 3-1, Mikel Arteta was beating the ball by trying to get the ball back onto the field because he knew that Arsenal could score 4. That is going to be the key if Arsenal are going to win a Premier League title. The title will not be given to you. You have to go out there and win it. And you have to change his stats. That since becoming Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta spent more days at the top of the Premier League than Pep Guardiola. But the Man City manager has 4 league titles and Arteta has 0. But that is the video there and there. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy in all of his social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal news today ahead of a massive gargantuan must-win game against Chelsea. It's at the Emirates Stadium. It is a London derby, a Mikel Arteta specialty, and a Big Six game as well. Mikel Arteta a chance to make another statement and go and get the 3 points, my friends. I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves and in a bit.